Hello, friends, and welcome to the Particularly Peculiar podcast. My name is Taylor.
And my name is Christian.
And we are back, baby.
We're back.
So today we are on episode 17.
Yes.
Today we're going to be talking about the stone tape theory.
Yes, which I know nothing about.
Well, you actually will know about it.
Yeah,
It's just probably a different name.
Right.
This is something that I have known for a long time, but I didn't really know it as the stone tape theory until recently. And it's very, very interesting. But first, before we get started with our topic today, we do have some strange news, some peculiar news. It's actually probably more funny than peculiar. I thought it was really cute, and we could all use a little lightening up. So this article comes from New Zealand, and it was on August 20th. We're using a Huffington Post article. So what this is Phil Ross, who is actually a marine biologist, said that his wife Jen had left to go to the gym, and then when she came home, there was someone sitting on their couch. I guess not a someone, but a something.
Something.
There was a seal, a seal sitting on their couch.
Like that. I mean, you wouldn't even know. My brain would explode at that point.
I would want to pet it. I'd be like,
what?
Did you come to be with me?
Right.
This is a sign.
I heard.
Yes.
This is the house to be.
So, I mean, I don't know. That would be pretty cool, I think.
Right.
I would love it.
Yeah. Well, until, it was barking at you and
slapping you with
running at you and slapping you.
Yeah. But anyway, so what they think happened, I guess I don't know if they're saying that is for sure what happened, but what they think happened is that this seal was outside this house and saw their cat Coco. And then when Coco ran off from the seal and went in through the pet door, that the seal just followed it.
It was oh, this is where we go.
Yeah. And
what's in
the
here?
seal squeezed in through the little cat door and went and hung out in their house and sat on the couch. Oh, so they have cameras in the house.
Oh, so they saw it. That's a straight up seal. Or is that what's the other one?
A
sea lion. Because they're different. We learned at the zoo the other day.
Yes, that's right.
But I don't remember why.
But yeah, so they actually have a camera in the house, and you can see the seal or the sea lion. I guess I don't know which. The article says a seal, so
we're just gonna go with that.
They're just literally just walking around the house, just looking around, looking up the stairs, waddling along.
Do they have a beachfront property?
I think they do.
I would assume they don't live in the middle of the city.
Let me go up here. Found a young fur seal inside their house Wednesday morning, exploring different rooms and lounging on the couch. I don't know. They must, because, it's in New Zealand, so must not be too far.
That's hilarious.
It is really common for young seals to end up on unusual bits of coastline at this time of year, he told Fox TV. The young ones are starting to get weaned, and like most teenagers, they can make bad decisions about where they end up.
Whoops.
So this is just a young seal that was just wandering around.
Just a young teenage seal.
Yeah.
Just viewing the view.
Yep. It said he tried to climb up onto a desk and then climbed onto the couch. It was just really hanging out.
That's hilarious.
The cat Coco eventually left and went to the neighbor's house, and she wouldn't come home until the seal was gone. And then for the next day, she wouldn't go downstairs. So she did not like the seal being in her house.
Yeah, I bet.
I bet that would be a little freaky. As a cat, you've definitely never seen anything like that before.
When most cats, don't just strange different things inside of their house in general. They like it to stay the same, usually. Like our cat, whenever we have guests over, you will not find him.
Not unless he knows them very well.
And still, it's even
it'll take a while.
A little bit of time for him to come out. Plus,
that's so funny.
Granted, he's probably just sleeping anyway because he's a lazy, plump kitty.
Yeah. He's a bum. Totally a lazy crust.
Which you might see, by the way. I'm recording this on video, and if you don't see it when we put this out, it didn't work.
That's right.
Okay. I'm just trying it out.
Or we didn't like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
One or the other. So hopefully it worked.
If this does end up on video, you will see that we are in the corner of our bedroom.
Yeah.
So,
and it almost actually kind of looks cool. Like I have it over here up off the ground, kind of angled. You see the little bamboo plant. I think you can see the sweet little light bulb. But you see our darling faces, and that's the most important part. So hopefully that video works out. If not, I guess we'll just try again with something else.
sorry, too bad for you, losers. Just kidding, guys. We love you. Okay, so this is something that has always captivated me. I am a believer in ghosts and hauntings and all of that.
Believe the ghosts.
Although, we are unsure how or why hauntings occur or how or why ghosts are here. I'm sure a lot of the people listening have probably heard of a residual haunting.
Right.
So do you know what a residual haunting is?
I mean, what I know a residual haunting to be is just, it's just a haunting that is stuck to, a certain place or item.
Right. So I wrote down that it is when there's not a spirit or a ghost that is communicating or interacting in any way. It's basically just the energy of an event or of that person kind of stored in those places. So a lot of historical sites they think have residual hauntings like Gettysburg and things like that. You'll see a lot of the soldiers around there and doing the same kind of things, the same kind of motions as they would have if they were in war or if they were hurt or something like that. So that's kind of what I think they say the stone tape theory is, which we will get into. So I think a lot of us wonder about, what happens to our soul after we pass and where does our energy go? This has been a question that we have been asking since the beginning of time. Of course, I think everybody has been interested in that for as long as life has been happening.
Right, where we came from and where we're going.
Right. It was found that in the 19th century, scientists were looking for answers to this as well. So Charles Babbage was likely the first person to document a theory of something called place memory. How Babbage explained it was that once we speak our words, they continue to linger in the air, and that is why there is an echo.
Interesting.
Eventually, we're not able to hear it echo anymore, but according to Babbage, it is still there and it will be in the air forever.
Right. Our cat is making an appearance.
Yeah. Come on, Joffrey. Joffrey,
and there he is.
Hi.
Everybody.
I think Ansley posted a picture of her cat, and they look exactly alike.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hi, Ansley. Like I said, that's kind of how Babbage explained it, that once you speak your words, they'll always be there, which kind of makes a lot of sense considering energy being passed from one area to another. I mean, energy not being able to be destroyed, like we've said before.
Right.
Now, can that go as far as your words, when you speak?
Yeah, that's pretty deep.
It is.
Hurts your brain to think about.
But I mean, honestly, I like it. That could also explain how we do catch EVPs of electric voice phenomena or electronic voice phenomena, where you can't hear it to your naked ears in the moment, but somehow it's caught on tape, you know? Maybe it's a residual EVP even. You know?
And yeah, it can only manifest in certain frequency ranges.
Right. That maybe we can't hear. Maybe once it occurs and once it fades out of us being able to see it or hear it, maybe it's in a different dimension. I mean, I don't know. There's so many different things to think about there, but that's kind of where the start of place theory was. Of course, with spiritualism on the rise in the 19th century, it did not take long for this theory to be linked to ghosts or spirits. This would explain why things can be heard during such things as a seance, but not seen. So this concept explains that our energy can become, so this is basically what we said earlier about the residual haunting. It explains that our energy can become linked to a certain place for several reasons, such as tragedy, or sudden death, or just traumatic events in our lives.
Right.
Apparently, place memory is very linked to, I think it's psychometry or psychometry, but I want to say psychometry, which is when one can learn about a person or place simply by touching the person or an object that was dear to them or important to them.
Right.
Just as we leave an imprint when we lay our head down on a pillow, it was thought that we left the same kind of energetic imprint on the things surrounding us.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I mean, to think, we have much more of an effect on our surroundings and environment than, we are aware of. And there could just be so much more, than we know. Like that we can see or comprehend or feel or, with our normal
I absolutely believe that senses. There is. I mean, there's already so much in the world as it is. And then just like, there's already so much on the earth as it is, let alone beyond the earth.
Universe.
Yeah, the universe, the other planets that are out there. I mean, and I think they've proved that there is like evidence of other dimensions.
Oh.
Which is something that we should talk about.
Yeah, we should figure that out. Last night at work, I was talking with Jay. Somebody had brought up the past. Then he was saying that he was watching or listening to something that was saying they think the past still exists. Like does it
on
still
an alternate timeline?
Right, something like is it a real thing? Like, is the past real? Because after it happens, it's no longer
gone.
there. It's gone.
Yeah.
The only thing we have is the present, right? Yeah, the past and the future doesn't exist. Or does the past exist, though? Because it did happen.
Right. So, did it leave an imprint?
Yeah. Is it somewhere still there?
Still happening. Ew.
We just can't. I know. And
I hope not.
I was like, wow.
I hope not for high school me.
My brain hurts.
Sorry.
Yeah. So it gets, and what's crazy is so many people like never even think about any of this stuff in their entire lives. They just like do their thing, live their life and go on. And it's like, man, thinking about this stuff kind of gets crazy. It can get so trippy. Like if you really, really try to comprehend it, it's really hard for us to do, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible.
Yeah, for sure. Time and space and dimensions and what is it, like dark matter and stuff like that. It's all just crazy. It's always been something that I've been interested in. I think both of us have.
Yeah.
It's a lot to think about and it's a lot to fathom.
Yeah. And what do you guys think?
Yeah. Let us know. We'd love to know what you guys think about this kind of stuff.
Does the past still exist?
Are we real? Are we? But we already talked about that one time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you haven't checked out our universe origin theories,
yes, listen
go check
to
out
that for sure. But, yeah, we just want to know what you guys think about all that stuff, too. It's so super interesting, and we'd love to chat with you guys about it. And in the early 20th century, Henry Price, which this says Henry Price, but I swear it was Harry Price. And I'm like, did I just type it wrong? But
could've.
I don't know.
Fact check us. Thank you.
Yep. Began formulating a theory about something called the psychic ether, which he describes as a realm where personal thoughts and memories were forever stored. Maybe like another dimension, which is funny because that's kind of what we were just talking about.
The psychic ether.
But it's your thoughts and memories. Is that just the past? It's just, and that is all our past is our thoughts and memories because there's nothing.
Oh, God.
Right?
Yeah. And and it says.
Sorry, my chair is really squeaky.
Yeah, it is. But at least you can see now, well, or not, depending on whether or not this video works.
I'm just floating here. I thought you couldn't see the chair.
Yeah, and it does say the psychic ether, which must mean just your own psyche.
I don't know.
Yeah, not like a collective of everybody's. I don't know.
Weird, huh?
That's
interesting. So he thought that those connected to this realm, such as mediums and psychics, would be able to access and interpret these memories that were in that ether.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it is so then it is like a collection of everybody's. It must be like
your personal, but then those people that have that ability can tap into your, or it is a psychic ether that anybody could tap into if they were able.
It's like the giant hall. Oh man, can't remember what it is now. In Harry Potter, when they're in that place, it's got everybody's like life orb or something in it, and it's like a. You know what? This reminds me of not Harry Potter, but Scooby Doo, when all their face souls are in that like. Oh, on the movie, the live action movie, yeah. Yes, with Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze Jr. Oh right, yes. Yeah. And their like faces are just like in this. They're floating around, yeah. And Scrappy. Right? Isn't Scrappy-Doo? Scrappy-Doo shows up, yes. Oh, man.
Okay, so I do feel like that probably is something that has been investigated somewhere along the way, especially since it would have a tie to consciousness and how our consciousness works,
Right.
which I did see something that said that we are on our way to unlocking the like mysteries of consciousness or something. So we'll have to look into that too. But
So crazy. And I mean, we're only like 30. So the time, I mean, you're not 30 yet. I know.
I'm not.
Almost.
I have 2 years, more
But,
like a year and a half.
I can't imagine, so say we live another 50 years, like what are they going to find?
Right.
I mean, just hoping we do.
Think
but
how much everything is going to change in that amount of time.
Yeah, with technology.
Like,
did you? Oh my gosh, this is a bad tangent. But
well, hang on. Let me say this. Think about like my parents. My dad was 3 years old when President Kennedy was assassinated.
Really?
So think about like everything that has happened in America since then.
Like his lifetime.
Since then. And it's like, I feel like I look at my parents and they don't seem that old yet, but it's like they have seen so many changes.
They've seen some shit.
Yeah, they have seen so much. And then imagine my grandma. She's like 100 now.
Is almost
I know.
100, yeah.
I know.
Which is wild.
We should go visit her and get her stories. We should have her on the pod.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah, she'd have a lot to say, I'm sure.
Okay, what were you saying? You were like...
My crazy tangent, and this is just about on the future and development with technology and everything. Saudi Arabia released plans to build a linear city, which it's only so wide, like so many meters wide, but it's like 170 kilometers long. And it's a tall, gosh, I wish I remembered.
Well, here.
Let's just look it up. Okay, we're back. I just showed Taylor the video that I saw of this. If you haven't seen it, look up, just Google Saudi Arabia, the Line City. And it is incredible. Like, I don't know how possible it is. I mean, it's absolutely possible. It just needs to be built. I mean, it's a massive feat. They were just saying it's a $500 billion project. It's taller than the Empire State Building, 170 some kilometers long, and it's like a multi-city.
So basically, it's like if you imagine being in a big city like Minneapolis or Chicago or something, they have like the villages where everything is all in one spot where you can literally, walk anywhere and be at the place that you need to go to, like walk anywhere and be at a convenience store. And they have like convenience stores just in the nice buildings on the corner of every, street. And it's like that, but it's all tall. It's not spread outward, it's spread upward. And then you can get to everything you need all in this long area. So there's no need for cars because it's all within the there's within the city, and it's all light rail.
Right. And it's like multi-tiered levels. So it's like, obviously, I mean, it's as tall as the Empire State Building, but you have an entire city just in like a small portion. It's just like high. It has all your stores, everything you need. And there's like literally no need for cars. It's going to have a light rail system that runs along the length of it, which you can go from one end to the other in 20 minutes.
And they can do it all without hardly damaging the land there. Because it'll just be a thin line all the way through.
Yeah, the footprint is incredibly small for how much space is in there.
I mean, that might be the future.
That is the future. That is what you see on movies.
Yeah, literally, it looks like a movie.
The multi-level, pathways and everything, and then it's like fully sustainable almost, and like you could have solar, and they have all the greenery because you can still grow like plants because it's open on the top, but like I forgot to mention that, but it's open on the top, so you still get the sunlight in, and it's like a mirrored glass on the exterior, so you still get all that sunlight along the entire length of it. And like that is just, it's mind-blowing to me. I watched the video last night and I was just like, this is amazing. Like, how have we not done this?
It's also kind of crazy that Saudi Arabia, I feel like, is like the people to bring that to the forefront. I guess I don't know why I think that's so like crazy, because they've actually been very forward with like architecture and stuff in the past. But it's just kind of crazy that it hasn't been thought of before. I think that's almost the weird thing. Not necessarily that it's Saudi Arabia bringing it, but that like no one else has.
The one thing about it that would be difficult is that it wouldn't be able to be done in all locations. It depends on like your geography, but shoot, we live in the Midwest. It is flat as hell here.
Yeah, it's
so like
flat.
We could do that.
Well, where it wasn't flat. It was.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Just us talking about the future and whatever, that popped into my head, and I know that was a huge, long tangent, but I mean...
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, but that, I think, is the plan. Everybody talks about, well, we need to get away from internal combustion engines, and the idea is to move to electric vehicles, which I don't think is the final answer. I think it's a better choice, but this, I think, is the answer. Just eliminate the need for most vehicles. Right. Obviously, things still need to be transported in and out of there, by ship and by, truck and however else. But anyway, back to ghosts.
Oh, yeah. Okay, back to the stone tape theory. In 1972, there was actually a movie named The Stone Tape. In this movie, researchers are in a mansion and they are trying to find how memories and such were stored in the walls of this house. So we have to watch that movie.
Okay.
I heard it was like a Christmas movie. Like it was around a Christmas time. I wonder if it was like a weird ripoff of A Christmas Carol or whatever. Is that what it is with Scrooge?
No, that's A Christmas Story. Is that what you just said?
Christmas Carol?
A Christmas Carol?
I don't know.
The
Scrooge. Yeah.
Bah humbug.
Anyway, by the late 20th century, many paranormal investigators were believers of the stone tape theory. According to hauntingwalk.com, many pointed to ancient cultural beliefs about spiritual stones and the importance numerous cultures have placed on certain objects in landscapes, which a lot of older civilizations, ancient civilizations, and like things like that were based on crystal energy. Theories of older civilizations, I should say, were based on crystal energy. They've talked a lot about like hauntings being in areas that I think have like a lot of like limestone or salt or something like.
Right.
And actually, Mom and I were just talking about how the storms always break up around our town, and I'm like, maybe it's because of our like rock or mineral makeup around here.
Could be.
Anyway, so that was a big thing that many paranormal investigators kind of associated with the stone tape theory.
Right.
Is that there is a lot of relationship between people, energy, and stones and their energy. Just like, there is using crystals and stones for meditation or chakra opening or things like that.
Yeah.
The theory suggested why some places were more haunted than others, and why the same events seemed to repeat themselves in some hauntings. It also explained a common type of paranormal event where witnesses described figures going about their everyday lives without any recognition of another presence, or heard disembodied sounds like footsteps. So repeating the same actions time and time again, like we said earlier. Of course, nowadays, paranormal investigators think there are many kinds of hauntings, and definitely residual haunting is a strong theory. It's just like a loop. So it'll usually be the same thing again and again, and usually at the same time every day. So if people are having something occur, say, every morning at 4 a.m., they hear banging.
Right.
Like, okay, that might be something in your house, like, pipes or something. Or it could be a residual haunting. It has also been thought that, It has also been thought that places with water or with stones are more likely to be haunted. Again, I think this is how the stone absorbs that energy, and water helps manifest energy as well.
Interesting.
So I already had said that aside from my notes. I was already thinking about it, but that's what my notes say. Of course, I am a believer that stones hold energy. I think we have talked about that before on the podcast. If we haven't, we should actually do an episode on like something like that. Yeah. Utilizing stone with intention can change energy or vibrations. So to me, that theory makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and my belief on a lot of this stuff has changed over time.
Yeah,
recently, like with my recent development as a human being.
So you were like supportive of me, but you were very skeptical of
yes
the
right. Like I would never say I'm a firm believer. I'm not the one to say something is or isn't true, essentially, or like, isn't real or whatever. Like, I just have my beliefs. But I was pretty skeptical. Like, I understood the concept of it, but through my personal like success development and everything,
your personal
realizing
growth.
and like really getting into the law of attraction, which has to do with the frequencies at which you vibrate with your thoughts, that attracts more of the same, has really kind of opened my brain up a little bit to other things and seeing how there's probably more to it.
Well, and you attract the same energy that you emit.
Yeah.
So,
which, and like at first it sounds like, okay, yeah, kind of phooey, but I watched The Secret, which is like the big one about the law of attraction.
So dramatic.
And it is very dramatic. But I mean, the way they explain it is that like your brain, when you think or whatever, when your brain does things, it emits frequencies, which is measurable with science. Mm-hmm. So these are frequencies.
Yeah.
And we know that other things emit certain frequencies. And like frequencies like to be together. Like if you've ever played music, if you ever had a drum set and you have a snare drum that's got the snares on the bottom, certain notes, like when you hit a bass guitar, make it ring, super crazy because it's just like the frequencies are lining up in a certain way, So tying this back into the whole like crystal and energy thing, it kind of opens you up to think that maybe there could be a frequency matching, with that type of material, which is why different materials are supposed to have, different attributes and benefits. Yeah. So, yeah.
And why some of them may bring about spirits that are hanging out within not spirits, but the memories hanging out within that stone. Right. Or, yeah. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, we definitely should do a whole episode on the...
We have to make a list of everything we said we would do an episode on this week.
We had a list before, and then we did some, and now we've done others, and then we just kind of fly by the seam of our pants.
We've done quite a few of the ones that we've wanted to, that were on the list.
Keep sending us your ideas, which people have been sending us.
Yes, we plan on doing
things,
listeners episodes as soon as we get enough listener stories in. So please do send us listener stories. You can submit those to us at www.particularlypeculiar.com.
Yep.
There is a little contact us button that you can push, and you can type in your stories. You can type in your suggestions for episode recommendations, anything like that.
And don't forget to check out our store.
Yes.
We launched a couple weeks ago, and that's been doing really well. I appreciate everybody who's put an order out. We have new designs coming.
Yes, Halloween
designs. Should hopefully have a fall drop, I'm hoping in October. I don't want to say like a specific date because we're not sure exactly when, but be on the lookout for sweatshirts, beanies, long sleeves, whatever, we're working on all of that. And that is at peculiargoods.com. And you can enter in the discount code podcast10 for 10% off of your order, and free shipping on orders over $45. So make sure to buy 2 shirts to get that free shipping.
Heck yeah, babe. All right, leave us a like, rating, review, comment, subscribe, push the good buttons.
All the buttons. Yep. Push our buttons and make us happy.
Yeah.
That's our new sign off.
Okay. I feel like I want to say, I do want to say something else to our listeners. We apologize for missing our episode last week. We have a lot of changes going on. We have both of our children are going into school this year, which is different. Our youngest is starting his first year of preschool, so that's very different. We are obviously working on the store, the podcast. I am still in school. I'm on my last week of this term, and then I immediately start another term of school, and I accepted a new job.
Yeah.
To work towards more of my human services related goals, and working with residential treatment. So that's...
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's a huge accomplishment. It's something that we've both been waiting for a very long time.
Yeah.
You guys, I've been working through school for the past 3 years with no breaks, no summer vacations, nothing like that.
Constant 8-week classes over and over and over again.
And over and over. And I am now
while raising
only
two children.
Yeah, I am only 6 months away, and I'm getting into my field. So it has been very, very hectic, and we apologize, but we are here and we are not going anywhere. So
nope.
Thank you guys for coming back and tuning in again this week. And we will have an episode for you next week.
Yep.
We will. And that's it. That's all I want to say. And thank you, and we love you, and we will see you again soon. So until next time,
our peculiar people.